Okay, thank you for watching here on YouTube live at Blooming Light at Blooming's Tribe. If you're logging in live, it is Tuesday, September the, I want to say it's September the 8th, okay? The 8th or the 9th, I have to double check that, okay? 2025, approximately 10:51 a.m. Central Standard Time in the United States of America, in Southeast Texas, Beaumont, Texas. Okay, so there's a collective reading if this is for you. I'm not gonna tarry with disclaimers and all of that. Check out the description box as well as the links and so forth, and other platforms, and that'll give you the gist if you're new to the channel. The reading is, there's a karmic energy and a karmic reading that I don't know if this, past, present, future, depending on who you are, okay? And when you click on the video and where you're at in the story, if it's resonating with you at all, okay? But there is a karmic energy that's in the collective. This is pertaining to possibly most of the feminines that are also targeted individuals, okay? Them and their children. And so this karmic said to themselves, what have I done? Whoever the karmic individual is, they said, what have I done? Okay. Now, we haven't gotten the full layers of the reading. I just got the foundation, and then we'll pick up a little bit of layers from there. Okay. If you happen to be an honorable feminine that comes on, and or a masculine that is moving into your sovereignty and benevolence, and or if you're someone outside of those two, and you're an innocent person in the scenario, the only thing I can tell you in advance here is this for this reading. Hopefully what you're able to do with the read, if those are, the aforementioned is you, is first and foremost, it's already confirming or highlighting something that you're already in the know or aware of. So it's already kind of, stirring that up. But I hope that you're able to take it and make any kind of adjustments with that information, okay, that you need to make. That's going to be in your favor. That is going to cause movement, okay? This is for some of you out there. Out of the three, I think I mentioned that, okay, you take that information and run with it, okay? A part of the tricky thing about these karmic readings and energies that lean more towards the toxic side of karmic, because not everything is as severe, okay? That's something I've lived and learned, and not everything is as toxic or as severe or extreme, okay? The cases like this is when you're dealing with sociopathy, okay? These types of things, when people aren't diagnosed and they've been able to basically live like this, okay? And it's for whatever reason, whether it be the culture they came from, the era that they came from, the location that they came from. There's a lot of reasons why people, we see it in the world, we see it in the news, we see it in entertainment, we see it everywhere. The reasons why people have gone undiagnosed and they have these great positions. I saw something, I think it was Dr. Romney, it could have been somebody else, because again, I've been studying this stuff and following it and getting help about it for years. And whoever it was, they said narcissist types, okay, the spectrum, narcissist types make excellent leaders. And when she said excellent leaders, she wasn't saying in terms of, because they're toxic, obviously, but most narcissists are very, very, well, depending on their type of narcissism, their obsession is what makes them good leaders, okay? Because when you're obsessed with status, you're obsessed with power, you're obsessed with money, you're obsessed with winning, you're obsessed with whatever it is, then for a business, outside of any toxicity that may be happening to its staff, okay, customers, employees, and you name it, that's a benefit. That's gonna, dollars and cents on a ledger. Okay, that's a benefit for them, and it gets, they could kind of, you know, what do they call that? That's the word I'm looking for. Basically, they can like hand over a lot of the authority and not have to do so much. They can, because this person is obsessed, they can count on this person basically working themselves into an early grave. They can count on this person to go above and beyond. And that, doesn't that sound great? That's the that's the dream. Okay. And so in some of these cases, this is why a lot of these people have managed to be in positions of power, leadership, and authority because of it. And unfortunately, these are some of the very same people who decided to come up against y'all. Okay? And they are used to, you're not the only ones that they have done this to. This has been a life for some of these people. And it's either you be a part of our crew or unofficial cult, kiss our ass, for lack of better words, turn a blind eye, wooty-woo, or you're next, or, this could be you, or we can make, some problems for you. So they have managed to bully, basically, a lot of people in their lives long before you. Okay? They've bullied people. Hell, they've possibly even bullied people into participating with what they had going on against you. Now, everybody didn't have to be bullied. In this case, there was people that was more than happy and more than willing. But there was possibly some that, well, it's kind of like peer pressure. What are you going to do? Okay? But whoever this, we're going to get the layers here in a moment. So what came out is the name Carol Heather. It says, organized community harassers are mad because you clown on your social media. They're stalking your social media. Then we have cult leader is a Christian by day, possibly real estate or mortgage industry by night. That could have been one of their professions. Then we have a phone number that looks like it's area code 775, something to do with possibly Elko, Nevada. Then we have travels from Nevada to Texas to meet up with cult members. Then we have over half of an apartment complex and its residents is involved with this RICO case. Then we've got independence. It's time to take a step out on my own. This could have been maybe the karmic. Maybe they were, it could be collective too, but it could be karmic that maybe they were in a cult and that cult kicked them out. Maybe that's where they got their, their stripes. Maybe that's where they got their training or experience or knowledge, and they decided to step out on their own. And this could also be what led to, the traveling from Nevada to Texas to meet up with their cult members. This could be how they built their cult, okay, as, in that state to get to their target, maybe after being demoted, kicked out of another cult. I find this fascinating, though. It's like, how do you get kicked out of a cult? A toxic cult is like you can't get kicked out for toxicity. Like, that's what y'all do. But that's what I kind of find a little bit funny. It's like, but how you gonna kick them out? Y'all toxic. However, I think what it is there are, just to be fair, I do believe that there are cults and covens and stuff that even though they may very well be that, um, some of them have wisdom. I'll just put it that way. Okay? Some of them have wisdom. Some of them, get real practical and they start counting up the cost, with clear eyes. They don't let their bravado, um, their grandiose, or any of that obscure what they start to see and review and anything that comes through. So they'll get to a point to say, okay, it's time for us to do our whole thing, our cost to benefit ratio. What the goal was, cost to benefit at this stage of the game. What has it cost, and what is it possibly going to continue to cost? And is this something we are prepared to take these types of losses? This is not the contingency plan. Okay, so we may need to let this one cancel, delete, destroy, and create this whole gig. Okay, and that's temperance. Oddly enough, I think that's a form of them with the self-control. Proper judgment, making proper judgment call. So, not to be wild and out, loose cannon, destroying themselves, lives, and all sorts of shit, and still don't even get the desired goal in the end. Okay? So, that's that. Now, it says trying to hide the evidence. Evidence, so this is something they're trying to hide, possibly currently when you see this video, whenever this happens, but it's got like some dots on it. It looks like, I don't know if it's already under investigation, maybe, and nobody knows that, like, everybody's been watched, including you, collective, by people outside of the cult or those that are in this little ring, if that makes sense. So you are being watched and they're being watched as they are watching, and maybe that's why it said ... evidence have already been found, or something like that. Okay. It says businesses, organizations, groups that worked with these karmics are being watched. So that's another thing. It says ... This is not good. Where's the next card? Now here's what's interesting. I'm trying to figure out, why do they say, what have I done? Now this card says fake or staged hospital documents. So as we get into the layers, we may find out that people was playing with some type of a mail or package delivery, something of importance that has something to do with either chances are money, because to get people involved with that, they have to be offered a part of that. Okay, so they could have very well excuse me, stolen that or did something so that they can get it. And the reason why I'm saying that, like, they could have created some documents in a court, maybe it was something to do with court or something, to say that either you, collective, or your children, or both, were in the hospital and they were supposed, was either standing in lieu of you, or I don't know yet, or I don't know, but we do got some fake or staged hospital documents. We don't know what that's about yet. And lastly, it says karmic is going insane. They feel like they're on the brink of a mental breakdown. Okay, so maybe this is something inside that they're wrestling with, especially with the comment, what have I done? What have I done? Okay. Interesting, huh? Let's get it. What have I done? What have I done? So again, like I said, collective, whenever y'all come on this video, because I'm addressing those that legitimately and sincerely view, follow, or subscribe to me. Those that are, when I'm talking, that's who I'm talking to. Okay. Now, that's who I'm talking to. That's who I'm thinking of, and that's who I'm exchanging with. Hello. Okay, let's see. Because I ain't crazy. Y'all ain't either, collective. Y'all, we know. We. Yeah. This hit the phone. It says, moving to a new home, city, state, before the end of 2024. So this could have happened in 2024. And they agreed with wherever y'all may have been at that time. They agreed with somebody to do something there to imply. This could be why they wanted you all in isolation, by the way. Because I know some of you out there are wondering, like, what was so hard? Why was the whole big deal of wanting y'all to not have a lot of movement or activity? What was this big deal of really wanting y'all to be kind of reclused? Whether this be in a rural area where there was essentially nothing, or, just trying to, if that didn't work, trying to do things to make it so that you all were not visible. And this may very well, have something to do with that. Okay, because if they were trying to say, if that fake and staged hospital document was supposed to imply that, then yeah, you need to be in a house. Y'all need to, you and your children need to be somewhere sitting down in a house, not visible, because that way, it's something that's more likely to stick. But if you're too out and about and walking up and down the street and going to places and doing stuff, that's too freaking visible. Okay, that's too visible. So this could be the connection between why they wanted to keep that, because they were trying to claim maybe maybe there was a court proceedings that you didn't know about, or something to do with money and something, and they had access to that and then created a plan. Okay, I know, interesting, huh? I bet you all of these people are Christians. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet, collective, that some of these people, where they wear crosses around their neck, they got it tatted on their body, they got Bible scripture written all over their entire house, in their cars, most of them. Okay, I guess that's their daytime uniform. Okay, maybe. So let's see. New home. See, collectively, I think that's why maybe your team is, whatever is up to date for you, because it's going to push you. As long as you, now I know this is going to sound trippy, you guys could have been doing really great for yourself in spite of, all of what these people have done to try to make your life what it was. You could have really found your way. Okay, you could have gotten a job, you could have elevated, and you found your way in spite of the theft, in spite of what was being held back from you. And you may have been, there's parts of you that could have been in the vibe of, I really can, you care, it's wrong. And it's definitely unfair to you and your children, but at the end of the day, you're like, I am, motherfucker. I am. And because I am, this is why they own me now. I am. And I can, and I do. And because you're not clout chasing and money hungry, and, it's not that deep for you, it was kind of like, okay, I'm able to do for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay for my kids, and possibly willing to let it go. Just wanted to be done with a lot of these people. Like, let's just go on with your get up. Get the fuck on. Get the fuck on out my life. Get the fuck on out my kids' life and my energy if you want to live. Get the fuck on. Right? Just leave me be. And stop crying, victim, and all this stuff and trying to set people up. Leave me alone. Understand English. Say habla English. Anyway. So, but your ancestors probably aren't. Because it's like it wasn't supposed to be this hard and difficult for you. It's a reason. It was a reason stuff was left to you and your children, so that, because they ain't doing shit, they ain't doing no fucking work. All they into is faking, okay? They ain't doing shit except for swaps. They're not doing shit worth shit, okay? They're entitled, consuming shit that ain't theirs. They ain't doing nothing, no elevation, no nothing. They doing pretend versions of that shit. Okay? And, you know, you are possibly not supposed to have to struggle. You are also not supposed to have to be reliant upon, because of the way of this world, because of the nature of this plane of existence and matrix, if you will. You are not supposed to have to rely on nothing and nobody for nothing. Okay, now nigga, now hoe. Because people are, you know, it's sad to say it, it's just most folks aren't, they're okay with that way of existing. And because of that, they stay in their primitive side, and they're just too easy to be bought and sold. It's just too easy. They will love you in one moment, and then when somebody come with the big, tall, huge dollar signs, all of a sudden they have become bored of the relationship and they are not enough. I'm just saying, it's this people, it's too, as strong boss daddy, boss bitch vibes people try to give, at the end of the day, they sell outs. Okay? At the end of the day, even though some of these very people have children, grandchildren, they have people they really do care for. But at the end of the day, they're still sellouts and willing to do some things that they would not ever want done under any circumstances to themselves or their children. And that's because of the psychopathy, the sociopathy, the, you know, the undiagnosed, unaware, because it's a lack of awareness, isn't it? And since this is something that have been praised, and I know I'm a little bit off track here, but we got to think of it on the practical side. It's something that's been praised in their life. They had people just play with that. They didn't got all kind of awards and, plaques and certificates and recognitions, and, they done made all this money and got all these properties. And do you see what I'm saying? Like, because of that, and then on the romantic side, you know how this go. Especially, it depends on where you are on the globe. You know how this go. Then it's like, shit, you pooping, they pooping cotton candy as far as people is concerned. It's cotton candy, visual cotton candy coming out the back. Okay. It's cotton candy and Hawaiian punch. In other words, can't do no wrong. No flaw, can't do no wrong. And so they've never had to self-reflect. There was never a reason to do so. There was too much reinforcement too much reinforcement and encouragement to be that way. Now y'all see why I say it's a toxic culture. Anybody catching up yet? Abuse culture. Because these things, they are awarded. Okay, they're awarded. It's like behavior therapy. I forget, was it, I can't remember. I took psychology and something else in college, but it was one of the behavioral, I can't remember his name. It's not Freud. It's, is it Skinner? Is it, anyway. Basically, the cognitive behavioral model or something like that. And essentially, it's about the reinforcement. That's the whole premise of that. Reinforcing certain behaviors to condition more of a set behavior. And that's what this is, even though it's unofficial. But it's still something that's been conditioned and there's been rewards. Okay? I think it was something along that, like reward system. Okay, anywho. So for some of you collective, this may help you also to understand then, if any of this is ringing, then why were they trying to hurt, continue to hurt you? Because they already were doing this. Because they were possibly trying to make it so that you end up there. You see that? So that kind of links and jives and covers. So if they can get you and your kid to get sick even after the fact, then you see that? See how they're trying to basically cover all their tracks, and in the end, like even if it does come out, it's like you end up in the hospital or your kid. You see that? And then do y'all off. I mean, I'm just, trigger warning. That's what this is. I don't care what nobody say. That's what this is, nigga. That's what this is. They had several plots and plans along the way. Some of you all know that. You could have been given visions and dreams and weird things that would happen. It's like, so they planning to send a nigga. They planning to send a nigga over home. Acting like we in love so it could seem like some kind of tragedy, man. Some kind of fucking robbery. It's crazy. Yeah, people do think this way. And for some of you, if they're not Christians, then these are people who they've built themselves a reputation of being some kind of a good person, even if it's not per se Christianity or, everybody's not leaning into some kind of religious belief or something like that. Some of them just really have a lot of pride in being viewed as a philanthropist and, being viewed as, a charitable and, a very kind and giving and generous person. Trippy, huh? And if you guys were on my live last night, and I think I made a mention of, those that are into the darkness and, astral projecting and, the things that they've been doing, pertaining to my son. So they didn't expect me to ever figure out that they've been puppeting or, mind controlling or speaking through my son to basically try to get me upset with him. But I long graduated. I figured this stuff out some time ago. And so when my son's energy gets off now, I automatically default. I automatically know. Just like that. Boom. Soon as he's acting out of his standard energy off and he just switches up, I already know. I don't question it. I know full well what the fuck. Okay? And so in this case, they astral projected and he was acting weird and stuff. And so I was trying to address the energy before he said anything, and I went into the kitchen, and I heard him say something. I said, "What?" I said, "What did you say?" And then I went in, and I tried to make sure that I was calm, and then I had to communicate to him because I wanted him to know. I'm like, "You're not in trouble. They are." I said, "What did you say?" And I said, "It's okay." I said, I know. I understand. What did you say?" And he said, "They told me to say, 'You're so dead, Brandy White Holiday. You're so dead, Brandy White Holiday.'" I said, "Really?" It's okay. I said, "And who are they?" I said, "Who are they?" I talked to him. So who are they? Like, do you see them? Do we know them? Do you know them? Like, I really went there because his abilities are different than mine. Okay? This 3D world will have you all to believe, even though they benefit, they know who I'm talking to too. They know. Yep, they know. They will have y'all to believe a whole lot of things because that helps and that works for them. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Now, the pureness of his energy, okay, and his ability is just different. He can see, he can hear quite often. He can see, he can hear. I can feel, I can sense. Sometimes I can hear, not as often as him. Sometimes I can hear. The seeing, I get glimpses. Maybe when I was younger, I possibly seen a lot, but I can see a glimpse or a movement and catch it, and then it's like it fuzzes out. Um, so he told me it was two individuals. He explained, he described, he sure did, down to their culture, or what he perceived as he could see. And that's when he said it was a black guy and a white girl, a black man and a white lady. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, he said they were being weird. I said, "What's bothering you?" He'll call them weirdos, and I was like, "Yeah, your mother's son, huh? You can pick up on weird ass energies and shit." Hmm. And then I clowned. After that, I dealt with energy. I addressed it to help him. I gave him directions, and I actually spoke. I don't know if they thought I was supposed to be scared, but anyway. So I addressed the issue, and then I ran some sequences. But after that, I clowned. When I came out of this room, I started laughing a little bit. I sure did. I clowned. I said, "Oh." I clowned a dude. I really clowned him. I clowned a dude. I was like, "Oh, you a house nigga, huh? You a master." I said, "You tap dancing for master? Huh? Huh? That's what you doing? You trying? Am I worthy yet, master? I promise I was gonna be good to Miss Sally." Anyway, because you know why I do that? Some people, I know it's a little bit off-putting, but you know what's more off-putting? The fact that they had the audacity to even be touching and fucking with my son. So dismissed. It says ignorance is why many are stuck in ... which could be why whoever the energy is. I don't know if it's Carol, Heather, bitch. I don't know who Carol and Heather is, nigga. But that said, what have I done? Maybe they're the notary. Oops. See, gotta understand when you're talking corruption, they always, in order for this to be successful, you're gonna have to have people. In order for this to be successful, you're gonna have to have people in places that can do things, okay? Because that's how you're gonna get shit done. You can't just be toxic. Hashtag be toxic. You better have some professionals that can provide you with. It says folks feel entitled. Did not say it. This is at the end of the day right here. It says folks feel entitled to divine feminine. I should rephrase it. To the honorable feminine, her energy, but she is checking mofos now. And yes, the fuck she is. I said she's gonna go out swinging and knocking all kind of shit over, bitch. She said, fuck that. You thought this was gonna be easy. You thought I was that little girl from Compton. Okay, they thought you were gonna be too afraid. Okay, they did. But this is an energy that possibly whoever said, what have I done? They was too afraid to stand up to their toxic family or friend. Because again, remember how I said like peer pressure, and bullied. Like we have adults, we need to stop pretending like this is not something in the adult arena. We know about it in like high school, the kids, and it's something that we're constantly addressing and hashtag bully awareness and all this for the kiddos and stuff, that's great. Hopefully, if there's anything really being done outside of a really nice saying. But the issue is the fact that, the adults are bullies. And the adults are raising bullies. The adults are raising the next generation of sociopaths. Yes, they are. And I'm saying this because in this case, they elicit children to participate in this. Yes, that's why I say that. For some money, because they tell them they're going to get the next PlayStation. The next PlayStation, the next Jordans, the next iPhone, the things that teenagers want. Whatever that is that they want. So they are more than happy to walk around and be toxic. They are more than happy, especially for their mama, for their daddy, for their, for their stepmama, stepdaddy, their auntie, their uncle, grandmother, brother, sister. Hell yeah. Especially they guarantee them they ain't gonna get into trouble. That's the teenager's dream. That's the ultimate ring of Gyges. I can be fucked up and for once I'm not going to detention. For once I'm not gonna get in trouble. That's why I said they're raising them up, the next one. And that's why I make comments every so often. I say, I feel sorry for their kids. That's why I say that. Because it may be fun and beneficial when the money is good and getting cars and all of this shit, but they don't know the path that they've been put on and what they're becoming and what's. Yeah. And they're screwing these motherfuckers up in the head. Conditioning them to be overly materialistic and to have no regard for anything and anybody except themselves. And then society at large wonder why we end up with a whole lot of crazy motherfuckers walking around doing crazy shit. Where did it come from? Where did it start? Who did they see play that out? Who influenced them? Who introduced them to that? Was it you, they mama, they daddy? Well, you were their leader, okay? These people did not like your creative art expression clearing trauma, because this was a part of some of y'all out there. That's a part of it. And especially if silence was a part of the bullying in your soul's experiences or where you grew up, whatever you resonate with, if it was the conditioning program for you and everybody else felt comfortable with that as long as it was you and yours taking the brunt of it, okay? And so as you started honoring your experience of whatever the fuck, okay, people didn't like that. This is a part of what really, because again, then it means they get found out and they can't be looked at, you know, there these stories that they kept creating. Yeah, it says feminine is recognized in the ethers. Now, I wasn't expecting this one to come out. It says, yeah, I haven't seen this one in a while. Feminine is recognized in the ethers, spirit world, or she's sought after as and recognized in the ethers, spirit world. She's respected. Hashtag interesting. I wonder if, oh, that's interesting. Anyway, that's some few of you possibly. I wonder if you played a role, collective, at all in if you played a role with getting people out of the reincarnation loop. Well, that's going to be interesting, because I can see why then. I can also see it from that side why it's like, motherfucker, we've been harvesting it for generations. And as a result, if you did, then that means there's a trickling effect with that. Child, shit. You sound like do not fuck Ghost Whisperer show. You saying do not go to the light, bitch. On Ghost Whisperer, she's saying go to the light because typically that's, you know, that's what you're trained or that's what you think in these like woo-woo shit or spiritual, esoteric, whatever you want to call it. Get over the labels. Now, you may learn something yourself because that's what you've been doing. You've been studying. See, while everybody else was just fucking buying tater chips, going on trips, that's why it was stealing from your ass while you do the work anyway. While everybody else was doing that, you know, turn up, you know, hashtag we Obama's 2.0. Hashtag Kennedy's 2.0. Hashtag the new version of Beyonce and Jay-Z wannabes. Y'all ain't gonna, you're not gonna be Beyonce and Jay-Z. Guarantee some of them are wannabes. Wanna be Beyonce and Jay-Z's. Guarantee it. Real bad. They thirsty as hell. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, you all were training. You were studying. You were learning. You were doing everything that you could, considering all things that was put upon you. But it could have perpetuated you to do just that, okay? Because when you feel like, something is coming after you and you don't know why, and you feel like you're being sabotaged and you don't know why, and it's too many odd things that doesn't make sense and unexplainable, it may very well push you to say, maybe I need to learn something beyond what I was told in Compton. Maybe I need to stretch, because this is unreal. Fuck what everybody's saying. I'm the one living this. And that could have helped you all learn, like, oh shit, you start looking into the afterlife. You start looking into esoteric spirituality, occult, not C-U-L-T, occult, occult practices, metaphysical, energetic. You start looking into all that, and it's like, what the fuck? And energies could be drawn to you. You could have known, like, oh, and you didn't know before. You just thought it was something wrong, because that's all what they always wanted you to feel, like it was something wrong with you. It never was. And maybe this is how you got some of the reputation, because if energies came to you upon their death, possibly, or in between. Because I think some of you could have even somehow connected with, in like, they're on their way out, but they're disconnected from their body and they don't know that they're like, or something like that. Something like that. And then some that's possibly already not here and they're stuck. Okay, they're stuck. And if you go there and your energy signature is picked up, they will be drawn to you. Osiris, they'll be drawn to you. And you'll get all sorts of weird paranormal shit. Okay, here we go. Ignorance. Okay. Oh, you, Osiris. Osiris, come here. I need you to go drink out your water bowl. Yeah. Not no. Did you say no? Osiris? What's the matter? Is something bothering you? Is there something here? It says feminines, honorable feminines, honorable masculines, they know how to be alone. Karmics don't. This is why ... This is why they ... Okay, once again, it looks like a story of pure pressure, ignorance, being bullied, afraid to stand up, because it says too afraid to stand up to toxic family and friends. And so basically they're willing to sacrifice you and your children collective because of that. All right, so let's get what could have happened. Let's get some depth. What happened? Why is this energy saying, what have I done? Why is this energy saying, what have I done? Something about the present. I have history going into the reverse. Or maybe, and a 5 of swords, and I'm not even in tarot. I have 5 of swords, which is the communication element, air, which could have to do with either verbal, written, it could have stuff to do with documents, but it's definitely lies. It's about lies, fraud, games, theft, gossip, false testimony, triangulation, and then we have the devil, because this shouldn't even be in this deck, but it came out, so that's worth something. We have the devil coming in the reverse, so this is somebody's, they got attachments. They're very stubborn and addicted to taking shit. They could be kleptos. They could be kleptomaniacs. They could be greedy. Just a lot of toxic ways. Gossipy, backbitey. And then we have trash, discarding, throwing out. Okay. This is something that these people did to get you thrown out. Wanting to get you thrown out. Wanting you to be treated like trash and to be thrown out. Like you're trash. But they're the ones in the trashy behavior. Isn't that fascinating? Obsession. Nigga, didn't I say it? That now the obsession card, the actual obsession card came out. Boom. And it fell on, it's time to take a step out on my own. So for some of you, this is a couple of things. As I said, these people could have been a part of a coven, got kicked out, and their obsessions led them, fuck it, I'm gonna step out on my own and do some shit. I'm gonna go in this town and I'm gonna start recruiting motherfuckers and training them up. Because I must defeat this person that I don't know why I need. It says must have indulgence. This is also greed. Okay? Greed. And then it's got wish, hope, and praying, yearning in reverse. They're obsessed with stopping the collective's wishes fulfillment, but they're also obsessed with baneful spell work. They're obsessed with, you know, oh my God. This could also be collective. You decided you're fearless with this angel number 1, independence, fearlessness, stepping out. You could have decided, fuck it. I'm tired of trying to fit in. I am tired of the abuse. I am tired of the lies. I'm tired of the head fucks, the games. I'm tired of people's projections. I'm tired of people trying to make me feel like something wrong with me because they're ignorant as fuck and they're triggered. I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending like things are okay when they're not. I'm tired of pretending like people ain't doing me and my kid wrong when they are. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of thinking humans are still human. I am tired of thinking that humans are worth anything at all. I am tired of thinking that there's something decent left in this plane of existence beyond the skin suits, beyond the skin. I'm tired of playing a role that is not mine to play. And I'm tired of carrying burdens that were never mine to carry. I am tired of playing down and playing small in a role that people need me to be weak so they can feel strong. They need me to feel small so they can feel tall. I'm tired. Tired of making excuses for people poor behavior. Meanwhile, they want to be judgmental of my human flaw. Let me go alone. Let me leave. Fuck it. It's time for me to go. From scratch. From zilch. From nothing. From nada. Maybe that'll be better for me. And guess what, collective? It proved to be better. Even though they took whatever this is. And been living off of. Yeah, that's how motherfuckers got cars and all this different shit. Yo shit. That gypsy curse is finna ride motherfuckers into the sunset though. And they didn't like that. See, only thing that these people didn't manage to do is just really to prove the depth of their sickness. Because they successfully stole from you and they couldn't leave well enough alone. So it's their persistence is actually building the case. It's building the case to really have the honorable authorities, and I have to specify because there's a mixed bunch. So to have the honorable authorities dig and really trump them up on more than just fucking with you. Because their obsessions with you led to it. They'd already successfully stolen. This is not something that was just planned. It was executed. It was already done. And they couldn't leave it at that. They just could not, because you were supposed to, as a result of that hijacking, you were supposed to be under the freeway. You and your kid looking dusty face, shaking a tin can for coins. Y'all was supposed to be in the hospital or in jail, preferably dead. So for you to thrive in spite of that, really made them feel nervous. And see, this is the thing about being a crook. See, this is the downside to that high life, to that lavish, dark life. That's the downplay of it. That you always got to be on your toes. You always got to look over your shoulder. You always got to wonder if something is going to somehow creep back up. You always got to figure out, be trying to preemptively strike and damage control, because, if your target and your victim goes on to live and thrive and be, what are the possibilities of them maybe somehow kind of finding it out? That's what this is. So that's the flaw in it. Because if they had a temperance, like some of these other covens, they would have stopped right there. It would have ended right there, dropped. There would have been no more attempts to make things difficult for you. There would have been no more attempts to poison you and your children. There would have been no more attempts to surveillance you. There would have been no more attempts, again, to steal from you, block from you. They just would have dropped it. They would have taken their win, what they stolen, divided it up accordingly, and let it be. But they got greedy. And their obsessions with the collective not having anything is their destruction. This is leading to their end. Their obsessions with getting you all caught up in legal issues, getting you all sick, getting you all, unalivened, compromised, their obsessions with you being broke and impoverished is leading to their exposure and the demise of everything that they ever built. Their entire enterprise. Because they couldn't leave you alone. Your ancestors, and collective, I know y'all like, this is for the birds. I agree. Your ancestors, and the ancestors are not always just human, by the way. You might be a part of the originals. I'm just going to have to keep saying that. Okay? You might. I know some of y'all really wish you were just normal, because maybe life would be simple. Maybe people will go away. That's why I say people be thinking like, oh, like it's some kind of bravado. Many of y'all like, shit, could I please just be normal? Because maybe motherfuckers will leave me the fuck alone. Shit. You might be lying, at least one at some point. I know everything is happening at once. I ain't gonna get too deep into that, but you might be. And not the hijack version, because most of you know at this point, there's hijack versions of everything. Mainstream, 3D based, matrixy based. Good money in that, and that's it. Anyway. And that shit. Child, Lyran, Turian. That's what I'm saying. They got greedy. You and your kid, they couldn't help it. They just could not. Ooh, more. More. We're gonna suck them dry and spit out the dry bones. We ain't property and we ain't cattle, and they're about to learn the lesson of doing what they did. We ain't food. We're fire. Shit. And then people's ignorance. There's been such a combination of things that came in for y'all. Their obsessions with ending you. Once again, this should be a reveal. It's going to simply reveal the depravity. Their own obsession. That's correct. Theirs is leading to the entire exposure of what they are. Your ancestors could have said, Lyrans, or wherever, the originals, could have said it had to be you. And maybe because of the fact that you are one of the originals. And I'm not trying to say that to fluff y'all up and make you feel, oh, special me. That's the karmic based program. That's what they capitalize on. And look at me, I'm better than, and ooh, and That's not what this is. It's about frequency, origins, the original threads. This is not about socialism or elitism. You may see 144 a lot. I have done completion lesson learned coming out. They were obsessed with, maybe since you all learned your lesson and turned your back, this is what really amped up the obsession to end you. Because you learned your lessons, okay? You can't do nothing about it. You was trying to, I'm a mine. And didn't want to continue toxic cycles with anybody. See, this ain't even just about the romance. You guys possibly did not want to continue toxic cycles with nobody. Once you just accepted shit is what it is, and decided, I don't want to play this script, I'm not going to play this role, I'm not going to, no. Is we going to deal with shit for real, or we ain't dealing? And we ain't fucking dealing. We gonna talk some true shit, or we ain't talking. We gonna heal or be for real, or we ain't dealing. I'm not gonna play the role. I'm not the victim. I ain't weak. I am not anything that you try to convince me I am. I now know. They wish, whoever said, what have I done, wish they would have just turned their back on it. I have tragedy coming in the reverse, soulmate. Maybe somebody is realizing, like, what have I done here behind a relationship? Because some people, their motivations is somehow tied to some kind of a relationship. For some of you, this could be a past lover that could be also saying, what have I done? Like, what the fuck? Like, who does that? Because somebody turns their back. Who gets that sick in their head? Who goes to these magnitudes because people simply walk away? But what happens when you're dealing with antagonistic personalities or people who, like I said, they've never had to self-reflect. Nobody's ever said anything to them. As far as they're concerned, they're still pooping cotton candy and pissing Hawaiian punch, and nobody turns their back on them. They're the ones that turn their back on people. Nobody walks away from them. They're the ones that walk away from people. Like, and when you're not self-aware, you can't see that maybe you're being bothered because of it and make the necessary adjustments. Instead, it's, I'll show them. I'm going to go play games. I'm going to lie on them, and I'm going to go and rally and instigate to get people riled up. And I'm going to lie and twist stories and do all sorts of shit. And so I can get people riled up to do my bidding. I'll show them. You don't want to talk to me no more? And this goes for friends and family as well. I'll show them. I'll infiltrate into their world anyway, because you see that narc energy? Because I leave you alone when I want to leave you alone. I decide, I determine. I'm God. Napoleon complex, God complex. I'll show them. I'll go find every ignorant person I can to be on my roster to fucking Hold on one second. So again, that's the vibe of these personalities. I'll show you, especially if you started speaking about what happened to you. And once again, abusers do not, that's insult and disrespect to them, okay? Fuck whatever they did to you, but you saying it and talking about it and using that for alchemy, because again, these people don't give you, here's what I want to pause and say here. People assume that you all never attempted healthy communication with people, and that's just not true. But communication with people who are already hell-bent on confusing you is actually a waste of time. That's not healing. They use communication access as another means to abuse you. To be in your energy, to have access. But not to bring any kind of truth and clarity and honesty and, healing. So what happens then, the collective, this is really when the nail gets into the coffin, because once that is understood, they're no longer going to continue to seek. And what happens is they're flying monkeys or they're enablers. When the collectives talk to these people, they can smell the narc. I'm going to tell you right now, they can. They just don't say nothing. Because of the way they talk. The narc is in their head. The narc has infiltrated their consciousness, their brain. And as a result, the communication with the collective is going to be very similar, because again, the enablers and the flying monkeys behave in the similar way, in that they do not communicate honestly with the target. They do not communicate openly and honestly. They are dead. They don't have any, what the hell? They don't have any, there's a lack of warmth, there's a lack of empathy, there's an interrogative tone, there's a condescension undertone, there's, subtle gaslighting. And so once again, so what's the fucking point? The collective gets to the point of this. So then what's the point of communication? What's the point of talking to the flying monkeys, the enablers? What's the point of that? So that can be recon, so that they can go do their little report like a good little boy and a good little girl? What, an opportunity to do spell work that they'll pay for? What? What's the point of that? And then when people direct these targets to go to the person in which been stealing from them, only confirms and proves to them what they know. When you already know that people are pathological and that communication in this instance is not something that is going to be helpful and beneficial, you do not continue to beat a dead horse and continue to try to get truth from those that are incapable of doing so. This is also why the collective stopped telling the story in totality or depth with people. Because what's the point of that? You spend 30 minutes, an hour telling the story. The narc is already got their clinches in their brain. This is why collectives do the things they do. That is a waste of energy. And it's also something that is used against them. They're aware. Is to get information, is to get recon, it's just another tool that is being used to have some kind of access. It is not getting. The definition of insanity is repeating shit that's not going anywhere. So continuing to talk to people that are connected to the narc is futile. Okay, so yeah, we have adrenaline high in the reverse. So the energy that says this, that what have I done, they're possibly feeling like this is not fun anymore. This adrenaline rush of fucking with collective's emotions, collective's children, collective's life is no longer fun anymore. This could also be indicative of maybe you got yourself off of the roller coaster once you realized the things you've realized about people. You saved yourself. You could have realized that at this route, love is gonna fuck around and kill me. At this route, loyalty to family and to men and women and relationships that it ain't my fault, but something ain't right inside, and as a result, they come for me. Loyalty is about to cost my life. Giving people chances after they already showed you they're an abuser. They already showed you they don't give a fuck. They done already showed you they're backstabbing, two-faced son of a bitch. They done already showed you that they fake saved, they're Christian holy in the daytime, and they're distorted witch and warlock at night. They done already showed you they don't have your best interest. They showed you they don't want you happy. They showed you they think that you shouldn't have nothing by way of their behavior, not by way of their conversations that they're having with idiots who don't have discernment. They already showed you. How many more times? They already showed you they can care less about your feelings, your best good, your children. They already showed you that they're willing to even do trashy shit to them. Why the fuck should you want to have a conversation with any of them? They already showed you what they're willing to do and how far they're willing to go. They already showed you they didn't care when they just sit back. People who just sit back and do nothing. Their action shows you. I tell people this all the time. People are telling on themselves every day. It's like, who does shit to disable people? There should be a special place on earth under some cave, bitch, where they're torched. All these people should be gathered, put in a bus. And then they should be publicly exposed and humiliated and walked with chains and shit around their neck. In front of everybody that held them in high honor. I have strength coming in the reverse. So somebody is breaking here. This shouldn't even have been a part of the deck. Somebody's breaking. They can see possibly that this is sick. I have a Leo coming out in the reverse, fire element, like this is sick. Trying to stop somebody's future, projected in the reverse future. They could also be, if it's not about you, maybe they could be concerned for theirs. Because some of them is not necessarily evolving. It's just they could be concerned about theirs. Realizing like, this shit might end up happening to me. Or my kids, or whoever, whatever they care about. Like, this is sick. And this might be my future. My future might be over. Because this was sick. Trying to cause someone else to get sick. Trying to break someone else's strength and resolve. And then hiding the proof or pretending somebody was sick and hiding the proof and trying to get them sick so that we can not have to worry about getting... Yeah, if they Christian, I'm like, if they Christian, then I want to know where was their prayer closet. See, I'm going to fuck people's whole little get up, their whole little illusion. I can almost hear the glass shattering. Because they got that shit posted all goddamn day on their social media. God is good, man of God, woman of God, man of valor, man of wisdom. You ain't, no, you not, nigga. Solomon. I'm going to need you to not quote that. Kind of sure he wouldn't have been in sacrificing disabled people, nigga. I'm kind of sure that wouldn't have been Yeah, Esther. Oh, you Queen Esther? Huh? You Esther and shit? Huh? You Mary Magdalene, archetype? Huh? You Esther, archetype? Huh? For real? Really? Yeah, I don't think they would have been into any of this kind of shit. So no. Those archetype of energies stood for justice, baby. They didn't stand for injustice in the name of a profit margin. That was the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the rest of the sorry motherfuckers. I have recalling, going into the reverse, reminiscent memories returning. Good gracious. Divorce. Whatever somebody did also to stop somebody from returning, somebody is thinking about, because they went that far. They could have went that far because they lost a relationship and they blamed you. So they decided to come, make sure that that person couldn't come to you. Sad, broken. Yeah, ascension, going down. Yeah, trying to take somebody down. Spiritual awakening, trying to stop somebody. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Trash. All right, let's get the tarot. Let's get a couple of interesting layers here and then we'll be done. And for some of you, it's to do with this. This is the energy you got into. Because you're like, fuck all of you, shit. Who the fuck think you is? Give a fuck. Mind your damn business. You know? You realize you'd be like, shit. My superpower, bitch, is that I am okay with me. I ain't no fucking shapeshifter. In a negative sense. Anyway, I should say in it. Because we have the abilities, but it's like you guys aren't shapeshifters in a malevolent sense. Like basically wearing a, you know, over here I'm this, over here I'm that, over here I'm this, over there I'm that. If I get around this person, I'm this. If I get around that person, I'm that. If I get on the phone with this person, I'm saying this. If I get on the phone with the, that kind of shit. If I get around them, I'm saying that. If I, yeah. Those are people who they don't have their own, they're not owning their authenticity or their own true identity out of fear of not fitting in, out of fear of being judged, out of fear of being ostracized, out of fear, in some cases, out of fear of being bullied, out of fear of losing whatever they feel they get from these connections. So they will sit there and pretend. They'll talk trash just to be a part, they'll say, and in truth, that ain't what they feel. They don't think it's funny, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But they'll do it because they don't feel like people having bitch fits and, because when you learn shit about what you're around, you know what you're dealing with. And so some people are like, I'm just going to go along with it. That ain't really what I think and feel, but whatever. If I don't, they going to be asking me 20 million questions for about 5 hours. So I'm going to just sit here and because I don't even feel like it. I don't feel like them stalking me for 5 hours. I don't feel like them. So let me just say, yeah, they ugly. They ugly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're stupid. Yeah, they're mentally ill. Yeah, they're tripping. Yeah, whatever you need me to say so you can go away. Even though I know this is wrong, I know this is sick, and I also know this is an injustice. But they'll be okay. And see, that's the problem with your ancestors. Got a problem with that kind of vibes off of people. Oh, they'll be okay. Okay, then, and so will you. I'm gonna need you to remember that. I'm gonna need you and your people to remember, and you will be okay. That kind of attitude. They're strong, they'll be okay, they'll make it. Okay, so you're going to be strong, you're going to be okay, you're going to make it when we allow you to be in the seat. Yeah. Trying to sacrifice you. I have the Hanged Man, Pisces, Major Arcana coming out here, and then Seven of Wands, which is the attacks. Spell work. Creating blockages. Getting people riled up. Aries, Leo, Sag, Pisces, Hanged Man. And then Seven of Swords is in the reverse, and Three of Swords, because you exposed something. So they wanted to so-called try to expose you, make you vulnerable of sort. But now they could be feeling brokenhearted. Three of Swords, Seven of Swords in reverse. What have I done? What have I done? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Third party interference, getting people involved to come against you, to betray you. And for some of you, it's blood, because in this depiction, it's a tub. It looks like it's a bathtub, and then the swords, and it looks like blood. So for some of you, it's relatives, and it's blood sacrifices, it's death rituals, it's Aries. This was foolish. Somebody is seeing, whoever said that realized it was foolish. This was foolish. All just to get some kind of a new beginning in their lives, willing to sacrifice their own relatives. Maybe this person sacrificed one of their relatives, and then try to scapegoat you. Because again, if this is a cult that somebody came and built, and so then the plan was to basically scapegoat you because you're not wearing a mask. They all are parading around as Christians. Or parading around as people who wouldn't be into those types of things if it's not Christian. And because you all aren't wearing masks, then they all agreed, we could do this, and then we'll say it's their fault. We'll say that they came against us and they came against our relative, doing spell work on us. That's what they've been doing, but doing spell work on us and our relatives because blase. For money. Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Sacrificing their own people so they won't have to worry about money. Check it out. I'm going to let you look at it. So in this depiction, worry. Okay, so this is somebody that's sick. I'm going to flip it around. Five of Pentacles. This is somebody that was sick at the doctor. Okay, some of you, they were trying to put you and your children in this position for money. Okay, this is something they could have did to somebody that was sick as well. So you couldn't work, they couldn't work, or you couldn't develop because you're too busy overcoming shit or tending to shit. For some of you to stop your development, to stop your work. Some of them could even convince themselves, this could have been a family member, that they were doing that so that they wouldn't have to worry. I told y'all. Two of Cups. You were a friend to people. This could have been two people that collabed and met up at coffee shops to do shit. They could have been mad that you exposed the fact that they were possibly following you around at coffee shops. Looks like Starbucks right there. I'm gonna say this again, fascinating, isn't it? People do fucked up shit to you. They follow you around. What kind of weirdos do that shit? And you're not supposed to do nothing. That's how you know people ain't right upstairs. It's like, you mean to tell me you fucking with this lady or this man and these people mind their business, and you, and somewhere in your marbles, you believe that they don't have some kind of right to stand up and defend themselves? You gone. You lost. You gone. You gone. You been gone. Because you would do the same shit. Yeah. They were stealing from you. And they feel heartbroken. But they agreed to this shit in the first place. Oh, this is some crazy shit. High Priestess is here. You expose their plan, or you know, Queen of Swords is in the reverse. There's the lie. There's the lie. Yeah, these people were brutal. They were lying. They were possibly gossiping, stealing, plagiarism. And these people got anger problems. The Queen of Swords in reverse is a cold-hearted hoe or a man, but they're a liar. Also, somebody was mad. Okay, for some of you, it's an energy of they're mad because they're saying, what have I done? Because some of their actions was based on heartache, that somebody left them hanging. Okay, if it's not to do with death per se, then it's somebody who felt like someone left them hanging, with Pisces energy here. The Hangman. This could be a third party type situation. Three of Swords. Seven of Swords reverse. The Fool. They are upset. Somebody lied to them. They left them hanging. They thought that they were going to have a new beginning. They thought that there, you know, was love there. Somebody had them convinced that they're going to go on some kind of a new beginning if they participated in something. And so somebody also is angry because they feel like somebody did something just to get themselves out of trouble. And a lot of women, they're upset about it. Maybe when somebody got out of jail, or somebody may be concerned that they finna go to jail, and they think somebody lied to them about being. And as a result, they came for you. Y'all see how it's connected now? So then as a result, this is what morphed into all this shit. Once again, behind love, behind plans not going, and then feeling like somebody used you and set you up. Because that could be going on too. There could be like 5 different stories all wrapped in one. What's happening here? Why are they concerned? Let's just narrow this down to what are they concerned with at this point? Whoever is saying, what have I done? What are they concerned with right now, or whenever the viewer watches this, if this is their story? What is this concern this karmic energy has? Because they're saying, what have I done? Even if it's just to themselves, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? What have I gotten myself into? What have I done? What have I gotten myself into? What have I done? They're worried about ruin. 10 of Swords. It's in the reverse. So they're worrying about something coming back. Maybe their history of causing ruin. They're worried maybe they're not going to be able to recover from something. Okay, with ruin coming out, like something is going to happen, and because of this, and they may not be able to come out of it. What are they worried about? Their secrets. Yep, High Priestess. The secrets. And they may not, be able to come out of it. Whether this be the secrets of just all this betrayal, or the secrets of, like, some of them are actually destroyed the witches and warlocks and been fucking with, they're in a coven, and like this may fuck up their careers. And yep, Page of Pentacles in reverse. Like they may end up with this dishonor because they lied. The Dark Night of the Soul. I have the Hermit coming out. Virgo energy. They're concerned like they're going to possibly end up alone. They're going to end up ghosted. They're going to end up maybe getting in trouble for what they were doing to somebody in isolation. They're also afraid of somebody picking up on this. Yeah, Four of Swords is in the reverse. Like they're crazy. They can't sleep. Like they've been trying to drive somebody crazy in secret. They've been trying to make someone unwell in secret. Four of Swords in the reverse. They've been trying to disrupt somebody's ability to go within and heal. Or trying to make someone look crazy and go crazy. Yeah, family. Patience is here. Page of Swords is in the reverse. Four of Swords is in reverse. Five of Swords. Yeah, they're afraid that, yeah, some family member may see this. Could be an earth sign. Somebody may get some insight about it. They could be afraid that you could be the sage, that you're going to get full insight. Why the Hermit? What are they afraid of? What have I done? I just saw the King of Pentacles, day trader. That could be another earth sign that's involved. What have I done? Yeah, did you talk to Jesus about it? Did you talk to the Lord? Everything to God in prayer. What a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs He'll bear. What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. I have a Judgment in the reverse. Death is coming out, clarifying the Hermit. These are major arcanas here. This is a big deal. They are definitely concerned about all of this secret death shit, or this secret, trying to cause endings. And then once again, in this depiction, somebody's at the hospital again. We got two hospitals cards. Doctor's office hospital cards coming out. Trying to kill somebody in isolation. Trying to ruin somebody in isolation. Trying to do this to someone who's a sage. You see those gremlins behind old boy here in this depiction? Could have to do with a masculine too. But if you look close, sending entities to cause endings, sending death to attack a sage, to attack somebody who has insight, who knows how to go within. This was poor judgment. This is criticism, judgment here, trying to stop new beginnings, trying to get people to criticize and misjudge somebody who is a sage about what was creating ruin. Trying to get people to think that person was under some kind of judgment. They're gonna pay for all of it. When they're not under judgment. They're dealing with professional criminals. Some of them could be afraid they're gonna die. You know, if they were sending death, they're afraid, you know, what's gonna happen to them. They about to be judged for it, and this is gonna be over. This is going to be over for them. Because again, these are people that's, you know, walk around like peacocks. Peacocks and ostriches and shit, like they the shit. You ain't the shit, nigga, if you fucking... I said it. You're not the shit. If you're sitting here killing your own family for kibbles and bits, and then you want to project that off onto somebody else because you're a coward. You can't live down your own decisions. You can't face yourself. You ain't the shit. Making money off of the old, disabled and elder, ailing people who are isolated and struggling with all sorts of shit. You ain't the shit. Because you can steal, because you can get together with a bunch of criminally minded motherfuckers. Not the shit. Because you get a bunch of teenagers with no sense of direction in life willing to do anything. You're not the shit. Attempting to open people's doors and unlock it and shit like that. Think they don't know. You're not the shit. You're actually stupid. They stupid collective. They well on their way. This shit ain't nobody important. Somebody that should be studied. There are people who should be lined up, like I said, on a bus, taken underground, and studied. For their inhumane conduct while singing old Negro spirituals and hymns. Fucking studied. Well, yeah, the King of Cups. This could also be what they did to a King of Cups, a father, or a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Doesn't matter. It's a King of Cups energy here. Yeah, what they did. They sent an entity to finish it off while somebody's sick. Because again, when a person is compromised, these types of things that's the whole point. It's easier. The more compromised somebody's vibration and frequency and body is, the more susceptible or easier faster that it can work. So this is why they target certain types of populations to begin with as well. And this is also why they attempt to get people sick when they're not, because they're trying to get their energy compromised. This is also why they don't want them to be able to, it's going to make sense to somebody someday. It's why they don't want them to be able to take care of themselves so that they can't do the things to make sure that their health is what it needs to be. So that they can continue to plummet the same bullshit they've been plummeting. And then maybe it'll start to build up and have the effect because the person can't do the things that they need to do. As terms of the collective, and your ancestors are saying maybe it has to be you, there's something about your genetics that they're not seeing. They're not going to either. It's also something about your genetics or whatever downloads or whatever capabilities you tap or something for alchemy quick when needed in order to reveal how sick these people are. And how far they're willing to go in the blood trail that they have with lives that their genetics may not be the same. They may be more compromised. And so you send an entity to somebody who's already, they're broken, all the shit, they're going to drop like my son's father. He was already, he was compromised. He had a hard life, but in part, it was due to his trashy family as well, nigga, and mine. Crazy motherfuckers. Abusers and shit, and then got the nerve to be saying some shit. Abusive. But potential, petition. What's that word? Pretentious and highfalutin at the same time, bitch. High-minded, high society. I'm a woman of God. You fucked your daughter's husband. Treated your brother like shit. Most of you motherfuckers you took that shit out on him after your parents died. Lacking, introspecting motherfuckers. Yeah, I said it. He was the baby. You thought he was spoiled. And he ain't perfect. I ain't going there. Let me get off of that. Because this ain't about trying to make him into something that he wasn't in his life. But it still does not negate the fucking facts. Weird asses. sick and oblivious to your own nature, oblivious to your own state. Nurse Ratchet. Sure, I'll take care of them. I'm the doiting daughter. I'm the doiting daughter-in-law. I'm the doiting wife. I'm the doiting, sure, I'm sacrificial. I'm the doiting mother. Look at me. I'll take care of them. I'll put my life. I'll do it. I'll go to the pharmacy and give them their medication. I'll fix them up in their room, and I'll make sure they're comfortable. You're making sure, bitch, that you don't get some shit. You trash bags better get the fuck out of my son's energy before you lose some more shit today. Before you lose some more shit today. I'm gonna say it again. Before you lose some more shit today. Something that matters to you today being affected today. My command, my decree, and abracadabra, and so it is. You play in his energy, bank on it. And so it is. I have the Eight of Cups here. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. Somebody is concerned about them losing their job. They're concerned about, because Eight of Cups. Yep, Five of Wands in the reverse. They're like, they should have just, what some people did because they felt like they lost. That's coming out for some of you as well, but they feel like, you wouldn't fight, you wouldn't compete, or they lost to you or something like that. So then they decided to make a whole campaign or something. Yeah, these investments, they should have walked away from this failure. They should have walked away from trying to cause failures and plotting that and stealing. But they're going to have to pay. Yeah, Nine of Wands. Because they kept doing something over and over again with the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sag, or they kept doing shit to you collectively. You're some type of a public defender. You're some type of fucking activist here. You're a real motherfucking warrior, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no fucking femme fatale. Okay? These people could have acted like they're supposed to be something like that, but they got defiled in some kind of way. They could have felt insecure about your confidence or something. I'm gonna have fun with this shit, these hoes today, as usual. Because when I command them things, them entities, see, when I roll with them, okay, understand? Because see, they done been sent to me my entire life. This stuff was done since I was a baby on me. So when I get with them and say, go get these niggas, get the fuck on, understand, you can read my frequency, you can read my thread, you can read it, you can sense it. As I clear my energy, my son's energy, the space, and I command and get up and say, excuse me, I'm gonna need you. Excuse me. We're not your food. We're not your source. We're not, excuse me. No emotional harvesting here. And in fact, there's going to be pain. real pain. Yeah, somebody can go to jail. Eight of Swords, interference. They're concerned about how this may, again, this static. This is about the internet, possibly at the TV, communication lines, what they did to some of y'all while you were working. I mean, this thing is all over the place here. Trying to take you through it, wanting to fuck with your confidence. People gonna see them as nutty. Yeah, regret, Five of Cups. Regret, somebody regret interfering. They regret interfering and trying to invest and sow seeds to take you through changes. And they're concerned about this happening to them or going to jail. Them and a family. Yeah, Four of Wands, Five of Cups, Judgment in the reverse. Also could be concerned because they stole a house. For some of you, this is a house. Others of you, it's money. Others of you, it's both. And I have the King of Pentacles here. So day trader, this could be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. They could be concerned with if it's an upright energy, then they are concerned with them getting the truth about it all. Okay, because maybe right now they're under the person's illusion. Yep, Page of Pentacles is in the reverse. So they're concerned about this hidden dishonor, either them finding out, or if this is a corrupt King of Pentacles, then he's concerned. And then I have Taurus here, good gravy, the Hierophant. A lot of earth. And they be wondering why y'all collective don't want to talk to the family. They wonder why you don't want to talk to the family. The answer is in them. The answer should be right in their faces, in them. What they were willing to do. It's easy. Also, but where was that Hierophant at? For playing that God card shit. Where is that? Because this depiction is a priest in this motherfucker. These fake motherfuckers. Yeah. What time is? I gotta hurry up. Let me find that card. I'm gonna show y'all. Because that's shit right there, though. That shit right there. That shit right there. Trying to act like you're trying to hide behind some fucking religion and shit. So they can get a house or some money or whatever this shit is to obscure people's judgment about something. But the real truth is you're just a greedy hoe and a greedy nigga. Just call it, bitch. Okay, let's just go ahead and call it. Just stop playing. This is still a whore. You're still trollops. Yeah. Could be a black dude that's a religious leader. Hierophant. This also represents marriage, commitment, documents. Okay, but in leadership, authority. And the King of Swords, hacker. This shit is being found out. There is an investigation happening, whether they know it or not. Hacking into your shit through their position was stupid. For their husband, for their wife, for their, whoever. Their mommy, their daddy. They, yeah, they're concerned. They could be concerned of the judgment of God. For some of you, that could be something that like God gonna fry them, bitch, for trying to, like, yeah, what were you thinking? What part? What the fuck? What part that you thought was gonna be good about that? Yeah, they're concerned about some losses here. That they may lose their position, they may lose their husband or wife because of what they were willing to do while standing behind a podium preaching and shit. Talking about bless the Lord. Ace, Ace of Cups in the reverse. Yeah. Yeah, they crying. They crying. They afraid they about to lose everything. Their abundance, their jobs, their wishes fulfillment here. Nine of Cups is in the reverse because they kept these people. They're sickos. They're sick. And I don't care if the nigga is, I don't care, nigga, if you the finest thing walking in the greater Texas area. I don't care if you are the finest hoe walking around in the greater Texas area. I don't care if you got the baddest car, house, you got a harem of whores and praise and worshipers. I don't care. You trash if this is you. I don't care if you're a leader at a prominent church. I don't care if you're a leader of a cricket cult. I don't care. You're trash if this is you. If you invest in doing these things to innocent life, if you've been doing this to the disabled, thinking that they're a burden to society and why not just get some money off of it, you're sick. If that's you, you're a sicko. You're a bigot. If you think witch hunt and you don't even understand the proper terminology, you don't understand the real connotations behind shit, because it's you and your people. If you think that who you are and what you're doing, some kind of witch hunt, you are delusional. Because the witch hunt should be starting at your house. Because you all are killers. It should be starting at your house. You're predators. It should be at your house. You're inhumane with your authoritative ass. It should be starting at your house first. Your racist ass. Your discriminatory ass. People who ain't like you. And don't give me that shit. I'm gonna whoop some of y'all asses energetically in a minute. Don't give me that shit. I'm married to a white person, a black person. I'm married to, that don't mean shit. people are some of the main ones doing shit to us. That's why I'm on what I'm on now. Our own people are some of the main ones doing sicko shit. Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Girl Power and shit. Hashtag you kill your own. And that's what you really are. Hashtag you'll sacrifice a baby in a New York minute if the price is right. That's what you are. Hashtag you'll then project that onto someone who would never even think of doing such a thing. Hashtag you're a thief. You'll do anything for money, power, and clout. Hashtag you're brown nose or clout chasing. Hashtag you think you're the shit and you're not. Hashtag you don't understand healthy boundaries, but you want to teach somebody else about shit. Hashtag you don't hold to your own principles, but you want to nail somebody else. Hashtag you're a stalker and you hide it. Hashtag that's what these people are. So let's get how they're about to feel. Because they're going to feel some kind of way in a little bit since I'm done here. You can bet your bottom dollar. Bet your bottom dollar in a little while they'll be sorry. Today, they gon' hate today. When I get all this alive, today, they're gonna hate today. And what came out is this. Inferiority, mad, angry. Grateful is in the reverse. So they're going to be mad that there's some kind of intervention that's happening, possibly for you and your children. That's something that some of y'all are manifesting one way or the other. If the authorities present is too fucked, there's some other energies coming through. Because if they're letting, you know what I'm saying, you're not a proper authority figure if you are any of the aforementioned, and that's just as simple as that. Especially, I have to say this right here, because in the U.S., I'm going to show you. You know, we're supposed to, we claim as citizens, you know, us in the U.S., we're one of the greatest world leaders. That's one of our personas. That's something that, you know, we're supposed to be known for, and aspiring other countries we're supposed to be, I guess, to, you know, want to be like us. And, you know, we stand for liberty and freedom and justice for all. And, you know, that's kind of our vibe. It's kind of what we say. But that is not being proven of how they're treating their people, though. Because you don't use your band. If you're in these arenas, That's something that should have been a part of the whole package. You don't get to use your personal culture, your personal, your friendships, your relationships, connections, your philosophical, spiritual, or political bents, and any of your issues as a whipping post, as a means to obstruct justice. Because that's supposed to be totally opposite of what the fuck we say we stand for. Totally opposite. Yeah, they finna feel this kind of way today. In a few minutes. They should stop playing collective children and their fucking energy. It's not hard. English. You understand? You understand words that's coming out of my mouth? People feel like collective, they feel like you're arrogant. They feel like you, I'm serious, they feel like you're arrogant, that you are full of ego. You think you're all of that because you are defending. These folks initiated shit. These folks came for you. These folks continue to. And they think that you because you're not just going to sit there and cower and go somewhere, sit on the corner with, you know what I'm saying? Because you're defending with every ounce of which you have and tapping into, you're defending the audacity. They think they're all of that. We're going to see. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's their problem. That's their ego. Something to prove. Go fix that head. Go fix that broken little girl and little boy inside. Go fix them inner child woundings. That created the bully that you are today. That's got you convinced people shouldn't stand up to you when you're bullying and abusing them. Yes, I'm about to be scared. It just fell on the phone. Yeah, good. Good. Because what part of enough is not understood? Enough is not code for go find 5 more dizzy witches to do shit. Okay, so my bad, the battery went dead. I'm going to end it here. Okay, it was long enough, and I just wanted to come back because it just shut off and the battery just went out on me. And so again, it's these people, they just keep doing more and more and more and more and more and more. Okay, it's not code for try harder. It's not code for do more spells. It's not code for more intimidation, bullying tactics. It's not code for go try to open their door. It's not code for any of that. And I'm going to say this once again, collectives of targeted individuals did not seek trouble or problems with anybody anywhere. They did not butt their noses in other people's affairs either, quite honestly. The only thing and the only reason why stuff came out is it was pertaining to the things that was being done to them. But that's the only reason why anything ever got mentioned. They did not go on some kind of mission in any given place or state to go so-called hunt down all of the bad guys. They were living their lives, trying to, recover, trying to rebuild, trying to heal, trying to find trust in humanity again, trying to find soul tribe. They weren't trying to make anybody like them, anybody want them, anybody be with them. They were not budding in people's marriages. They were not budding in people's homes and friendships. They didn't do anything. They didn't initiate none of this stuff. They simply started defending themselves because people won't leave them alone. So if you see them speaking out, if you hear them upset, it's not for nothing. It's not them having an emotional psychotic break. It's not them being bitter because nobody don't want them. It's not none of those things. It's people won't leave them alone. It's as simple as that. People are entitled to who they are and what they have. They're entitled to their giftings. They're entitled to their energy. They're entitled to their creativity. They're entitled to their ideas. They feel entitled to what actually belongs to them. That's a sickness. They're defending themselves. People are plummeting them every day, and their children, literally and spiritually. Yes, physical stuff as well. But you all, if you hear people talk, talk to you, talking about did they do anything physical, that means they may be a part of some manipulation shit. As if to say, if ain't nobody, as if it would be okay if nobody is doing anything physical to you, that you should just kind of whatever. To hell with how it's impacting you and your children. To hell with the emotional and psychological impact. Just, whatever. You should just be strong. If people are talking like that to you, chances are they ain't really gone through shit, but also chances are they're a part of it. The collectives have done nothing but try to live their lives that they have a right to live without permission from anybody. To be themselves without permission from anybody. To practice what they practice, explore what they explore without permission from anybody. They simply wanted to be left alone, and that's something that these groups and these individuals just can't do. They just can't do it. They keep playing in their face. They keep trying it. Well, we're going to do this, and we're going to sit somebody here, and we're going to sit somebody there. They keep at it. They're piling on. They're piling on their own demise. The collective is defending themselves. And they're refusing to remain silent about it, and they're refusing to go out quietly into the night. They're refusing to bow and go hide under a corner somewhere. They're refusing. It ain't gonna happen. And if stuff is happening to people, if it is, for those that maybe things are happening, this is supposed to be their moments of self-reflection. Not pile on and do something else. If things are happening, these are consequences. These are actions they took, they continue to take. All for money, vengeance, and to keep a fake persona alive that they're actually decent motherfuckers.